I gave myself 1 week to wrap up this prototype, and the checklist was brutal, but I got a lot done. Hovering over buildings now previews the next upgrade tier. Soldiers start weaponless until you equip them, and I made heavy machine gun bunkers for defense. Art-wise, I made a visual upgrade variants for buildings. I upgrade zombies' toxic ball particles. It finally feels like a game, but before I deep dive into how I built all of this, I have one problem. This prototype, it's coming all together, but until now it doesn't have official name. So if you would like to help me, please suggest a name for this game and I will appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about everything I talk about in details, one by one. I added a tier upgrade system tied to the officer building. Basically, your officer building controls the max upgrade levels for everything else. If your officer building is only level 1, your other buildings are locked to level 1 too. But once you upgrade the officer building, it's unlocked higher tier for the rest of your base. So, if your officer building is tier 3 and other buildings is tier 1, you can upgrade it to tier 2 and then tier 3. After that, it's a stop. You won't be able to upgrade it any further until you bring your officer building to tier 4. I also created visual variants for every buildings up to tier 3. When you first place a building, it's look basic. At tier 2, extra props are added to the model, and tier 3 adds even more details. It's give the player clear visual feedback that their base is actually evolving, which feel much better from a UX perspective. And along with the new visuals, each tier boost gives the building higher health and generates more coin at the end of every wave. For the soldiers, I wanted them to spawn unarmed, so you actually have to buy weapons for them, which feel way more rewarding than just buying weapon for someone who's already holding a gun. To be totally honest, my original plan was to use civilian model that transforms into a soldier when you equip them. But after wasting way too much time looking for free civilian assets and not wanting to buy paid models before validating the core gameplay, I had to make a choice. To keep the prototyping moving fast, I just took the main soldier model, hide his own weapon by default, and enable it once you buy him a gun. It saved me hours, cost $0, and get the point across for the prototype. Since this is a tower defense survival game, it's in a deep strategic decision on how you spend your money. Right now, players can control soldiers and move them around, but I felt the game was missing static positional defenses. Adding static structures creates a great tactical choice, balancing flexible units and fixed firepower. So, I built machine gun bunkers. They are placed in fixed spots and cover a specific firing arc to lock down key areas. By placing this in a strategic location across the map, it forces the player to decide when and where to invest in heavy static defenses to hold the line. To make the game look better without wasting time, I need better placeholder assets. Instead of leaving everything as boring grey boxes, I imported some buildings model and props from our previous game, Northend Tower Defense. There are just temporary placeholders for now, but it instantly brings the prototype to life and makes playing through it much more enjoyable. I also swapped out the zombie attack effect. Before it looked like electric shock, which is made zero sense because zombies don't shoot electricity. So I imported a fireball effect instead. It's still just a placeholder, but it's make way more sense than electrical zombies. As I talked about variants, implementing those building variants actually took a lot of time behind the scenes. To make the upgrade previews work without breaking the game, I had to separate operational buildings from ghost buildings. When the player hover over a building, it displays a dummy ghost version of the next tier with all scripts disabled. Once the player actually purchases the upgrade, it destroys the old building and swaps in the real, functional next tier model. Setting up this process and creating 3 unique tiers for the storage, barricades, bunkers, and official buildings took a huge effort, but it's worked smoothly now. I ran into pretty tricky issue when setting up the Barracks upgrade buff for soldiers. Here's the core problem. The soldiers are spawned in the world as separated entities. If they were attached directly as children to the Barracks building, they would get completely destroyed and wiped from the scene every time the Barracks get deleted and replaced with higher tier model during the upgrade. However, because they are separated, the new upgrades Barracks had no idea this soldier existed. It couldn't apply the damage buff for them. To fix this, I had to rewrite the upgrade system script. Before the old barracks is destroyed, the script saves a list of reference for all the active soldiers linked to it. Then, as soon as the new upgrade barracks spawns, it's transferred that entire list of reference over the new building. Now, it's worked exactly as intended. The existing soldiers stay alive in the scene. They immediately receive their damage buff, and the new barracks maintain full control over them. Even with all these improvements, there are still features missing and bugs to fix. But at this stage, I just need to get an early alpha build into players' hands. Early playtesting is super important. Getting real feedback now will help me make the game much better as I keep developing it. Since I'm on a tight deadline, I realize I can't keep adding new features forever. I need to stop trying to make everything perfect and just focus on wrapping this up. For the rest of the week, I will just focus on polishing, adding sound effects, background music, balancing the enemy waves, and playtesting and fixing bugs as fast as possible. The goal is to ship an alpha build before end of July. If you want to follow along the development of the game or playtest the build, you can join the Discord server from the link down in the description. And if you enjoyed this video or love indie game development, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more, you can see this one. And see you in the next one.